do you think of this track?
Can you hear me now?
Ooh, sure can. What do you think of this track? This is my Richmond, Virginia post-wave mix.
Post-wave?
Post-wave.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like post-wave.
Oh, I don't know anything, man. That sounds good, though. To me, I like it.
Cool. Daniel, are you listening? You are?
Damn.
Hopefully, no echo.
Yeah. Shout out to Paulsbo.
How's the biking in Paulsbo?
I wish I knew.
One of these days. Here's the break. Are you ready to do another episode of Wheel Talk?
Let's do it.
Let's bring him in. What up, YouTube world?
Howdy. Howdy, I don't know. You don't say that around here.
Where do they say that? Texas?
I don't even think they do it there.
It's the what part.
Jay taught me this.
Oh yeah. What's that? What's that move? That's
my dance move.
I'm in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talk dance dude that I went out dancing this last weekend. Mojito. There's an art space in Soto. Mojito. In Beacon Arts, they had a warehouse party. You remember Beacon Hill, like that is it
Yes.
Caribbean or Singaporean?
Filipino food?
Filipino food, yeah. They did the drag shows. It's closed now.
Yeah.
Now it's a Mexican restaurant, but that whole building is getting torn down.
You're right. Right.
That you remember that warehouse with all the graffiti on it? That was the art space.
Was
They
it
had
really?
Techno and light installations there. It was gorgeous.
Whoa. Oh.
Dude, and we sat in a lung for like half an hour. Yeah, it was like a airfield representation of a lung.
What?
It was intense, man. It was good
Right
stuff.
on that corner. That means.
Right on that corner. But it was the grand finale. Dozier.
Really?
Yeah, but Beacon Arts was part of that shit.
That's dope. Wow.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. What's up, Wheel Talk audience? Thanks
Hello.
for indulging me in my post-wave mix. We'll get some more of that.
Dude,
on the
we
way
gotta
out.
get more music on here.
Yeah.
I like it every time we do.
Ooh. Well, now that we got it to work, thank you. Shout out to Dan in Richmond, Virginia for cueing me into that whole sound flower.
Yeah, dude.
idea.
It's
Yeah.
mixing just right. Sounds really good up here.
Good in the headphones, good in the YouTube
Headphones,
land. Yeah.
microphones.
Yeah. So what you been up to? I've been out into the techno world.
Oh, I've been trying to bike around. I went to a friend's barbecue over the weekend and it was out to West Seattle. Went along some streets I haven't been down, which was a lot of fun. And our friend Asher, he's a really cool guy. So
Oh yeah, cool.
so I brought an apple pie by bike, and it was really cool to see
made it.
everybody, man.
Nice.
Mhm.
Cool.
No dancing from me, you know.
I
I told you. That's what I got.
that's a move right there.
It's solid.
It's all in the something like that.
It's all in the shoulders when you're dancing.
Mhm.
You don't want to move the hips at all. That's what I learned.
Right. But you don't want to keep your arms too. You know.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to be flailing about like tube man.
I like this one.
Spoon man.
Spoon man. Tube band. I don't know either of those, man.
Spoon man. That was the. Let's start talking about bikes.
Sure.
Let's talk about bikes. Have you been
Let's
doing
do
any?
it.
Let's see. I haven't done any biking since Thursday on the .83 ride.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Hey, man, sometimes you need to let those muscles rest.
Well, I did some bike.
No.
Last weekend I was out in Richmond, Virginia,
Tell me about it.
visiting Dan. He wants to be a guest. We're thinking about doing some like Wheel Talk RVA. We'll get him on here. There's a lot of cool people out there doing the scene. Like, so they do their rides on Wednesdays, and much like our Thursday rides, there's more drinking than biking a lot of the times. But they had so found out last Thursday that there's something to the Thursday night rides not having music, but music was a big thing out there.
Was it really?
Yeah, like when the cops are coming, someone had the bright idea of playing like Ludacris Roll Out.
No.
You know what I'm talking about. Like when the music says it all.
Yeah.
Word travel quickly, but
You said it's a smaller group, too.
smaller group, and it was like 20, 25, 30 people. Some good riding though. Like what they make up for in hills, or what they lack in hills, they make up for in distance. We did 25 miles in like 3 hours.
Wow.
With some trails and pushing through trails, and it was dope.
And lots of music.
Lots of music and single speeds.
You know what else I noticed? When I was in Portland, and
Yeah.
they also had a lot of music, a lot of really good music going on.
Okay.
How come we see music sometimes out here when we're riding around?
We get the music bike.
Yeah, well, once in a while.
But there's also so I also heard that there's some appreciation for just like the sound of the spokes, so the click of your freewheel.
I've heard that.
And just the pavement. Yeah, it's just something beautiful about that. Like when we've cruised through Interlake, and you're just like, that sound, man.
Right.
That sound.
Right.
Of
It
like
is
30 different fucking freewheels.
It is a really special sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
But I mean, music.
It's
dude.
mobility.
It is mobility.
Yeah,
Music does make it.
And music does let you get heard, I
It
guess.
does. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of
Like,
makes it more fun.
if I'm driving with music usually, cranking that shit up. But
True.
anyway, the cops come
Mm-hmm.
because we're kind of hanging out by the University of Richmond, which is like apparently like where the rich kids go to university in Richmond. A little bit in the suburbs, not too bad.
And you hear roll out.
And well, we see the cops coming in because we were drinking, and I don't know. So we started playing roll out, and everybody started rolling out. They were just coming to disperse us. We weren't doing anything wrong per se. We just were, just like occupying a space.
Yeah. With your bike.
A quiet.
Some music.
Yeah, some drink. Anyhow.
And the cops show up.
So the cops show up, and then I'm kind of near the end of the people, and the cops are coming over, and they're like, "Hey, is there a problem?" And the cops are like, "I think the song says it all. You guys are rolling out." And we're like, "Yeah, we're not sticking around. We'll leave. Like, we get it."
Good.
But there's
They
no
got the
instance-
message.
Yeah. We got the message. Everybody got the message. But
Yeah.
music on the bike rides.
Depending on the song. Yeah. Because it's in a different message.
Yes. Like NWA probably.
Probably would not
Not
be
of-
appreciated.
Well, it would have gone. I think things would have gone a lot different.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Anyhow.
Or
What-
Public Enemy.
So riding in Richmond was a lot different than riding out here. They're all excited about Sharrows, which is interesting. Very humbling to come back here and like, oh my gosh, the
Yeah, there's-
cushiness of a bike lane. Like, what am I talking about? Complaining about having protected infrastructure. They don't have that shit in
Yeah.
RVA. They've got national bike highways, like Highway 2 on the bike infrastructure.
Right.
Goes right through there.
How come we need to get the Trans Am come through here? Come through.
How about like
Seattle,
an
which is
interstate biking system? Like we've got continuity with the interstate highway systems, and now we have a problem with cars. How about we have a problem with bikes? I would lobby for that.
That's a good problem to have. Don't you think?
For the sake of mobility, yes. Speaking of mobility,
Any problem's a problem.
you've got some newspaper article, like the meat and potatoes of today's Wheel Talk Seattle episode.
Yeah, so a while back I subscribed to the Seattle Times because it was $5 for 6 months and a Sunday subscription. And today,
Look at that.
I sent you a photo of this
You
one
sure
just
did.
because.
Your finger's covering the other bike news thing.
Oh, that's important too. Check it.
One dead. You'd think that the Cougar was a car.
It was a Jaguar.
Ah!
Got it. Okay.
It was not a Jaguar. It was
No, it was
the Cougar attacked the bike. It was a Cannondale.
It was. Let us see. So, actually, just recently we were talking about promises that the city makes to people.
Move Seattle levy, right?
Move Seattle levy was a big promise, and it does. I mean, I was totally sold on it. I remember it, especially because it didn't come out of my pocket. I didn't think, right, coming from property taxes. But why $930 million levy falls short? And they've been doing some stuff on this too, which was why was it falling behind? And now it's short. So almost $1 billion.
Where's the money going?
It's going places.
Places.
It's going places. It's going to the people, and it's not as evident, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading this.
Yeah.
Let's open it up.
Let's open it up.
And then
Let's
maybe we
dig
can
in.
talk about the one dead cougar.
The cougar did not die. The bicyclist
Sorry,
died.
one dead in cougar attack.
Mm-hmm. I remember you were showing me. You were showing me. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh man, then on the other one is the royal wedding. Hold on, one sec. No, that's not important. This is the important stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Seattle we have a new transportation liaison, kind of a interim director.
Yes.
Right. Who, if he does a bad job, whatever, he's just interim. He doesn't matter. But he seems to be doing a better job than the last guy.
Well, we just heard something about the last guy that makes my interest in Lime Bike kind of drop off the radar. Just saying.
A little bit, huh?
Like who? Oh man, I kind of want to find out what his name is or what his title is, Mr. SK. SK Kuble. Mr. Kuble. What you doing with the Lime Bike? What you doing? Are you gonna drive that one into the ground too?
Right? Yeah. Don't hire this. Well,
why are you hiring?
Why are you hiring? That's bad.
How is it? Whoa.
His track record is like
bad.
Lots of bumps, man.
A lot of bumps.
It is bad. But
anyway.
Okay. Sorry.
We're not talking about Kubley. We're talking about the person that's there to completely or try and fix the mess that he made.
Trying to fix the mess that they made. Well, apparently there's been messes going on. As you know, I guess like government agencies aren't really well leadered by.
I mean, for $93 million, they should have a little bit of structure. Or just saying.
$930 million.
Why $930 million levy falls short?
Well, apparently they can just spend millions of dollars on leadership
some of
and
it's
consultation.
For bikes and cars and no wait.
The big one was for the bus lanes.
The bus lanes.
Yeah, that was one of the big ones.
Those red ones.
Those red ones. So where they had like seven in mind, like coming from Burien, which is like a suburb.
Seattle Times
like
blaming the bike lanes for being so expensive? Like, what did they say? Traffic Lab, the cost of bike lanes. Why are they so expensive?
Why are those ones so expensive?
I thought the bus ones
really
were the
not
most expensive
that expensive
ones.
Compared to everything else. Well,
but it seems like Seattle Times has got some other blaming. It feels like they're blaming the bike lanes. I don't like that very much.
Oh, we'll get to that one.
How to buy a home in Seattle? Don't drive and drive and drive till you qualify.
There's always This is also something.
Yeah.
So there's
the
always
placement of this article
on the front.
Here's the
cover.
solution, right? Bike lanes cost a lot of money, but here's the solution to buying a home. Don't buy a bike, buy a car.
Right. Here, watch this.
You can move to Marysville with a car.
Look at there.
Bam.
There's a car. There's a car.
We're citing the article by putting it in.
This is our last week was how cars are good homes for homeless people.
Mm-hmm. I thought about it myself, but I can't risk having my bike on the back of a car without locking it up.
Yeah.
And they won't put a bike rack in front of my apartment because it's not a business that requires or that makes enough money.
Hold on, quickly. Tell us about that, please.
Oh, I
think this is really interesting because I read that email too.
What did I say in that email?
You were asking them really kindly when I was reading it too.
Yeah,
Was to,
I commended the beautiful
requesting,
road. Like, hey, can we put a thing?
And so right in front of your apartment, there's a brand new road that's kind of it's been repaved. The sidewalk's been repaved, and
the road's been resurfaced.
Yes. And you requested a bike rack to go out.
A bike rack
outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they replied with a,
"You're not a business."
Yeah, we don't normally put bike racks in
low
residential neighborhoods.
And they also made sure to say, but even if you did, it's not a high enough bike traffic corridor enough for us to care. Essentially, is kind of how it came across.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was that, right? It's a low density.
Yeah.
Even if it were a medium density, probably not.
Let me see if I can take a look at this. Pull this up while we're.
I thought it was really fascinating because you try to advocate for things in your own neighborhood, right? Think local.
Yeah, what do they say? Just send us a message. We're
global,
happy
act
to.
Local.
Yeah.
That whole mantra. So you do, and here's a response you get. I thought that this response was really it's like, hey, we're not going to do this. And if you want to put in money towards it, then go for it.
Oh yeah, they were really happy to offer solutions that that cost me money.
Many solutions.
Like if you want to spend some
Many
money,
solutions that will cost you money. There's no solutions that were like, hey, let's well, maybe a block down, maybe something like this. I don't know. It also could have been a copy paste email.
How do you go to more of your messages?
More of them.
This is ridiculous.
Go to your sent ones and check out the one that you sent to me. Right?
That's a good idea. Do a loop, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
This should have been way easier.
Mm-hmm.
Do.
So I think in a previous podcast we were saying that you can request bike racks outside of businesses. Yeah. So you requested one outside of your apartment, mind you, 2 blocks away from the Space Needle. Plenty of people are coming by.
Here we go. Let's just pull this up right here.
Oh, good. Look at this lengthy thing. Can we see what you said first? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's 2 lines.
Let's shrink that in a little bit.
Craigslist.
How did that happen?
Spoiler alert. We have a soundbite. Let me see what our viewers are saying.
We don't have any viewers saying anything.
Oh, it doesn't say anything right now?
That's all good.
Anyway,
We'll listen to this shit later.
let's bring it back to here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my video switching yeah, we're still looking for an engineer.
Yeah. They don't make it as easy as it looks on the videos. But I guess the point that I was trying to make was that I wasn't making a point. I was just
we were talking about bike racks and how easy.
About bike racks.
Okay, let me read this. I'll just read this out loud instead of trying to put it on the video. Hello, I am a resident of a small apartment building at this address where beautiful new sidewalks are currently being completed near the US 99 Tunnel North Portal. As a regular bicycle rider, would make a request for bike parking outside my building. Please not let me know how I can help create convenient bike parking on our new street. And I get in reply, 8 days later.
And 8 days later.
We provide bike racks adjacent to businesses or in business districts where demand is consistently high. We typically do not provide this in low-density residential properties such as this area. Which is interesting because when I was talking about how the noise was affecting my low-density residential experience, they were pretty quick to tell me that, well, there aren't any other low-density residential buildings, so we don't have to cater to you. Because they live a bunch of like in a commercial district. So it seems awfully convenient that they couldn't accommodate the noise for this podcast.
Right.
To happen on any other day but Sunday or Monday afternoon. Sometimes.
And they can't accommodate your bike rack.
No, but they can't accommodate. Right, because it's not a business or in a business district and demand isn't high enough.
Yeah.
But they can install bike racks where they don't want homeless people camping.
I was gonna say here's the hypocrisy is that they're gonna waste tens of thousands of dollars putting in bike racks that people aren't gonna use to avoid things.
Homeless camping deterrent.
Well, it's just saying I'm gonna use it, and I bet you there's gonna be a couple other people who are gonna use it too.
At least a couple other people, because well, if I bike, well, then my friends bike, and in the meantime, all of the bikes are in the house. Well, I don't know why, because there isn't a place to friggin' lock them up.
Yeah, and they assume that you have the space for it.
Yeah.
It's like most buildings have space for it.
But they only put up bike racks near commercial businesses. How is that going to encourage people to ride their bike?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't ride your bike to your friend's house because there's nowhere good to lock it up. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit, man.
That's exactly what I said. I forwarded to you. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Now here's the funny part where it talks about you could you could buy one for you can buy one for a third party, but you have to submit a site plan and obtain a construction permit for $146 and then install the rack yourself.
Say it. Yep. Keep it going. Yep.
Bitches.
And then
bitches.
Once you say you do that and you install it yourself.
Say I could Say if I can somehow manage to convince my landlord to do this, because it's not necessarily up to me.
Oh. There's a yearly fee for it, isn't there?
Probably.
I think that's what it's
But they can. But
There's
if
a maintenance fee.
what we need to do is get some homeless people to camp out on my street, and then they'll put in bike racks.
That's
it
That's it.
for free.
There's the loophole, man. Just be like, hey, I think I saw somebody camping out front. They'd be like, oh, really?
We should put some bike racks there so they don't put their
Yeah.
tents there.
We'll fix that.
Assholes.
That's the next email.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reply email that you should send right now.
Here, let's
No, I'm just kidding.
let's
Don't
check
send it right now.
Here, let's check this thing out real quick. We have a couple videos. There's the thing. We're looking at this from Seattle.gov.
Okay, yeah. Set the stage right here is that there's a lot of money being wasted, apparently, or money that was a lot of overpriced things.
City Inside Out podcast. We're looking at transit delays.
2018. We're going to see how that goes. But one specific issue, your reaction to seeing this news that bike lanes on 2nd Avenue did not cost $860,000 a mile, but $12 million a mile. How does that impact the work that you do to try to advocate for bikes?
Pause.
Well, I think it's important that we be.
That question alone.
What was
is
that?
Loaded. I think it's like, oh, well, your bike lanes cost $12 million. How's that affect your job?
It's 12 million out of what? 930
$12
million out of the $930 million levy
Yeah.
for bike lanes.
Yeah.
And they're falling short. Okay,
Basically
now-
saying that if it costs a lot, why even bother?
Mm-hmm. So who do we have?
Clear about where that $12 million number is
Casey
coming
Gifford.
from.
Thank you.
And we have old infrastructure,
Advisory Board,
and
okay.
it's going to
It's
be
reputable.
costly to bring that up to snuff and make it safe for all road users.
Right.
$12 million is not the cost to implement protected bike lanes all over the city.
Right.
2nd Avenue required a lot of
an
additional
exception.
infrastructure work that other streets don't need, and I think that it's important that we invest the amount of funding that it takes to make our streets safer.
Yeah.
And so I hope that, and I
No, that was an interesting point. It made it in the article about how 2nd Avenue is 50% safer.
50% safer.
Is that the correct thing? It's like, well, it was like 4.6 accidents to 2.4 accidents.
Oh,
and
yes.
zero with
Bikes.
and zero accidents with people
Yes.
biking.
Vehicle collisions are from 4.5,
Mhm.
4.6 to 2.5%.
Mm-hmm.
None involving bikes lanes. None involving bikes since the 2nd Avenue. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That was great.
Yeah, so it's a safe route.
It's a safe
It's not
route.
a fast route, but it's a safe route.
It's very safe.
But it's not a fast route.
No.
No.
Oh, no.
No. So what's this next clip? We talk about transit
For that.
delays.
Casey, I wanted to make sure I threw in a twist here because I know the mode of cycling is not always compatible with the streetcar. In 2016, very unfortunately, Desiree McLeod was killed as her wheel got stuck in a track, and I know you're very
Oh, this is they were talking about how the Alaskan Way Viaduct's coming down and impact of streetcar on
And then there's gonna-
infrastructure.
Yeah.
That was a reference to the accident on First Hill,
Right, I remember.
McLeod. And that was near Broadway,
Right.
where there's insane, beautiful infrastructure, but clearly not the safest.
No. I wonder how much that one cost.
aware of that. How do you feel about this delay in the streetcar project? Some cyclists have had some issues with it. They've called it a death trap before. How do you look at this?
Well, I think it's important that the city have good infrastructure for all types of modes and allocate the right-of-way, as you had mentioned, to represent the users that are coming into downtown and our city's priorities.
Yep.
We have outlined in plans that have gone through processes that and council has approved these plans, yet we continue to allocate a greater share of our right-of-way to private vehicles.
Yeah.
And so I think it's about
Fantastic
allocating
point,
more
by the way.
right-of-way to the modes that we want to see more of.
Including parking,
Perhaps working on this
removing?
design in some way for the streetcar to make it more bike-friendly. I know that's been a big piece
Absolutely,
for a lot of
yes.
advocates. Okay,
Well,
thank you
cars
for that.
Way to
Well, cars and streetcars work well together. The cars can navigate those tracks no problem.
Oh yeah,
The tires are wide enough.
they'll be fine.
Buses, same thing.
They don't mesh very well.
But you know what?
Neither do bikes.
Right. So keep the bikes out of that equation, but you can have mobility for multiple modes. Just don't put bikes anywhere near the streetcars.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So that's a Sitting
keep them
Inside Out
separated.
podcast. It's kind of like a half an hour of it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
It was a long one.
Transportation troubles. It was a long one, and they have a good panelist on there.
A lot of good panelists.
I almost hate this guy though. I love him, but I hate him. He plays devil advocate like all the fucking time.
Who's this?
The host. I don't know his name,
Oh, okay.
but he's
Brian Callanan?
constantly.
Callanan?
No matter what anybody says, he has the rebuttal just ready for you.
Oh yeah. Who's this? He reporter and anchor for Q13 Fox News for 11 years.
Well, with these two,
How does this go with the Seattle Times article? Like, I feel like there's something going on here.
there's something totally going on.
We've got a $930 million levy, and they're blaming bike lanes.
Some of it's being blamed on bike lanes. Is that how can you have? So I guess the story is.
But the private car, the personal individual motor vehicle, I don't get it.
That comes into play. But I guess the story in Seattle right now is that there's been a mile long of bike lanes on 2nd Avenue, which is downtown, very busy, and it cost $12 million to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then even more recently, there was an article describing the 7th Avenue bike lane.
Oh, yes.
Also downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And that it costs for 4 blocks $3.5 million for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think luckily the Times did go into detail on it this time.
Well, so maybe the take home
today.
point is like if you want safe bike lanes, it's going to cost you $17 million. If you want bike lanes, it's going to cost you $1 million.
That's what it kind of said in this one. When you were reading this,
Yeah.
that's what it was saying.
Yeah.
It's basically that everything's overhead, everything's way above expected.
But what about all the money that's disproportionately going to? Neither am I. I would say, but that's only a very small fraction of this Move Seattle pie.
Really is. Well, I guess they also expected to do 50 miles of like bike lanes.
Right, which was okay. Maybe that was a little ambitious, but
That was.
But Seattle's not known for giving specific plans for like initiatives. They're just like let's
Very vague.
What is it? The big argument about car tabs. It's like, well, we need the money, but we're not going to get it from car tabs. Or we need the money for I don't want to bring up the homelessness thing necessarily, but we need money for homelessness. We can't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a statewide initiative, and I just read something about how Spokane's not having it, which they shouldn't fucking have it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a state head tax is going to disproportionately affect them.
State one, huh?
Tacoma, same deal. Just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
But just as like the King County Metro can't build the Washington State ferry system out, I don't know. It's fucked. Which makes me even wonder even more what Kubley's doing in fucking Lime Bike.
Well, I guess it says it in the first 3 words here. SDOT's broken promises. It's like it's
well,
like a
Kubley's
heartbreak
broken
story,
promise.
man.
How about that?
It's basically that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should really be named. Him and Murray, and we both know they both have troubling pasts of Murray with sex scandals and Kubley with special interest failure projects.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
and then now everybody here is just trying to like pick up the pieces
and blame it on Bezos.
and blame it on other people, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bezos, he doesn't have anything to do with the bike lanes, I don't think.
But he kind of does because, I mean, look at the bike lanes on 6. You ride down 6, or no, 7th.
7th. It is the 7th one.
But even getting towards 7th, it's like the bike lanes are done in some spots, but you can't even use them because they don't connect to where you're going, and there's a lot of people taking pictures of his balls.
Pretty much. All 3 of them.
Oh, yeah. Going
All
both
3
ways.
of them. And is that when he does do those projects like that, is that Amazon, there is a certain amount of money that from his construction costs goes right back into
Yes.
into like the city's general fund to do
Absolutely.
things, right?
Yeah.
So that's why some of
look
those
at-
things were prioritized immediately.
Well, look at what he did with the the buildings that he wasn't ready to build on. You know, he's got, you know, homeless.
That was a pretty dope idea.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that.
No, he didn't have to. It was a really good idea.
But
And-
instead, they chastise him for spending a little bit of money to help himself out in the future.
yeah, it's all a short-term plan.
It is, but it's like, why are we? I
There's
don't
only
know.
so many vacant buildings right now,
Yeah,
and there's
But it's
still
like,
not even enough
why are
vacant
they-
buildings to
yeah.
put homeless people into. But all at the same time, I don't know. This
I
guy
don't
needs
know.
to fucking. I don't know, man.
is he pulling his weight? I don't know.
Is he pulling his weight? Right. Dude,
Yeah.
130
But for a
billion
company,
dollar dude.
for a city that doesn't want to be a company town or company city, it's like I feel like this city is doing their best to avoid what happened with Boeing when Boeing pulled out and the whole city went to shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're doing their best to avoid that happening again.
They are, and at the all in like recent history too is that they did like the state itself gave them millions and millions of dollars of tax breaks just to
Mhm.
stay in the city
Yeah,
or just stay in the state, and they continue to move out. So there's like it's a lose-lose, man. You tax them, they move out. You don't tax them, they fucking move out anyways. They don't give a shit.
And
Nobody gives a shit.
I actually kind of think, I can't remember if he said it or not, but I think Dan may have mentioned that Richmond is on that short list of HQ2 potential. I don't know if they decided it or not yet, but they were talking about somewhere near like Washington, D.C. or just stuff like that. But I mean, but they're thinking about that too. Like, what's that mean for our industry? Like, look what happened with Walmart
Right,
and how that nationalization of things and products and shit.
Right. And then when they're gone, then what?
Yeah,
What
what
do you got?
happens? Like,
took
what was
your
that
money
famous
and then they're gone.
billboard? It's like the last person to leave Seattle, turn off the lights. But
Right. Yeah. I think Seattle's got a thing where it's like they don't want to sell out.
No,
man.
no.
They got
But
that grunge feel still, man.
right.
And if you're not gonna sell out, then you might as well just shoot yourself.
Right. But so like, I think I don't know. I think a lot of things.
I do too. But bringing it back to bikes, okay.
Let's bring it back to bikes and wrap this bitch up.
The one thing I like, okay, so I was reading the Monday article. Why does it
Yes.
cost $12 million to build a fucking mile of bike lanes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, downtown's obviously, it's going to be more expensive there. Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. And whereas I guess what I was thinking was when I was growing up, the street that I lived on, which was Crestline in Spokane, they put a bike lane on there too.
Which part of Spokane is that?
It's like the north side,
North side.
Hilliard
Okay.
area. And I guarantee it did not cost $12 million to do that.
No.
You know, all you got to do is just remark it and just wash away some of the stuff and then
Richmond, Virginia. The
do it.
biggest thing the best thing that they did in the last like 5 years was paint bike Shero signs on the fucking road.
Mm-hmm.
Now people
Yeah.
know to expect bikes on there.
How much do you think that costs?
Nothing.
Probably way more than they were expecting.
Probably, but
How many hours of police time did they have to like stop people?
they're working. That's a whole other issue for that town.
Okay.
Like we have racist
Fair enough.
police, but they've got other issues.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Same war, different battle, as
Fine.
I've been saying. Same war,
Okay.
different battle.
Should we get to like? I wonder if there's like a core like thing with this whole trying to explain. I wonder if the Times itself is trying to sway people into putting bike lanes in, or trying to dissuade people.
Yeah, I would love
What
to
do
pick
they
their
want
brain.
to know?
And who's influence? I mean, I thought it was kind of a testament to what they're up to, but directly below where you can drive your car
Oh,
to buy a house.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to buy a house? No, I mean I do, but
How much can you afford? If you
I
can
can't-
afford $1 million
Right.
home, then you don't have to drive
but
that
you
much, right?
you can't even get a what was the cheapest end here? Still $320,000, and you're talking 2 hours away by car
in Marysville.
in Marysville. You even Bremerton is still like $175,000, $200,000.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I tell you how much my mom bought her house for?
Mm-mm.
Like 70,
Oh
80,000.
my gosh, nice.
Yeah.
My mom's got
And
a
now it's next to a bike lane.
even better in the heart of Spokane.
Yeah. Yeah, more like
But dude, like,
the liver of Spokane.
but what's the house go for these days? No,
They, I'm sure it was like twice as much.
but still, it's like half as much as a fucking place out here.
Fair enough.
Just saying. Real talk, Spokane.
We'll talk Spokane. Oh, we should do
down.
like a little remote.
What we're trying
Out
to
there.
do. I've been talking to Dan, and we're gonna try and get him on next week. I'm gonna do Wheel Talk for Virginia or Richmond, Virginia. He's got some peeps. I did that ride. Yeah, there's some crazy fucks out there just doing what we do. Same thing.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah. Well, let's get this outro music.
Gonna outro this. Hey guys, read the articles,
Sponsored
okay?
by Pistols at Dawn.
Pistols at Dawn. And what do you think of the beer, by the way? Maybe we
This-
can get a
oh, this is
sponsor by just
excellent.
like free sponsoring.
That's what my mom said. Just like
Silvering?
show who is this a Spokane brewery?
This is, I think it's Tacoma,
Oh,
a
okay,
Silver
close
City
enough.
brewery, and they make
Wheel
a great
Talk Tacoma.
IPA.
Bitches.
Wheel
Daniel
Tacoma.
Daniel G's in Tacoma, right? Shout out to
Also,
Daniel.
sometimes in Tacoma.
Okay, close enough.
I bike out there once in a while.
Oh yeah.
We should do the Green River Trail. We should bike out there one day.
Ooh. I'm down.
You guys join us, okay?
I'm down.
Or if you don't want to, that's fine.
Let us know your Memorial Day plans in the comments too. Tell it either
Yeah,
if you're listening to it
Memorial Day
after
plans.
Memorial Day. You said you're going out somewhere, right? Doing
Going
some
out
boating.
to Lemmy.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's out by Bellingham. I've never been.
Bayham?
I think
Sweet.
it's really private. You're
All
gonna
right.
see no bikes and just big houses.
Sweet.
All right.
All right, YouTube lands. Check
Cheers.
it out.
Bike safe. We'll
Check
talk.
it out. We'll talk.